Hey, I bet that was a... Say, do you think that... Hey, could that have been a gremlin?
Hey, horror fans! Once again, it is me, the Horror Miser Mining G. It's time to review my first movie of 2021. Yes, it is the action horror film called Shadow in the Clouds. Now, Shadow in the Cloud is a 2020 action horror film. It was directed by Roseanne Lang. I think I pronounced that name right. It was written by her and Max Landis. Now, the film stars Chloe Grace Moretz, Taylor John Smith, might miss this one, Bilal Chloe, and Nick Robinson. Now, the plot of this film is very simple. A female World War II pilot traveling with top secret documents on a B-17 Flying Fortress encounters an evil presence aboard the flight. Ooh, boy. Now, before Steven Spielberg and director Joe Dante brought us the 1984 film Gremlins, they were mainly known as mischievous little creatures who caused malfunctions in machinery. They really got on people's nerves. I mean, they gained some notoriety during World War II in cartoon shorts like Looney Tunes, which show them destroying airplanes, bombs, and other equipment. You get pissed off at them, they cause a whole bunch of ruckus. I believe that's one of the reasons why Spielberg and Joe created the film Gremlins. Now, similar to the creatures that we saw in the 1984 films, gremlins were described as having spiky backs, large strange eyes with small clawed frames, and sharp teeth. Now, it's obviously that film director Roseanne Lang was influenced by those cartoons and legends of gremlins, as we now see with her current film, Shadow in the Clouds. Now, this film takes place in August 1943 in New Zealand, and we're introduced to Maud Garrett, played by Chloe Grace Moretz. A female flight officer is assigned to travel from the airbase in New Zealand to Samoa with top secret documents. Ooh, sounds fascinating. Now, after taking off on the B-17 bomber called the Fool's Errand, Garrett is placed in the Sperry, or the turret. It's some type of small thing in one of these bomber films where they shoot out other airplanes, mainly the Japanese airlines. Now, after the audience is introduced to the rest of the crew, Garrett believes that she saw a creature tearing off the engine parts. Is it a figment of her imagination, or did she really see a fucking gremlin? Ooh. And that's basically what the plot of the story is. We find out that there is some creature tearing out parts of the airplane. We got lots of back and forth between her character and the men. And basically we see what happens. You know, is it a figment of her imagination? Is there actual gremlin? Yeah, that's what this film is about. Now, I like the fact that Roseanne wasted no time in getting the film started. By the time I was saying within 10 minutes in the film, we get to learn much about the crew, which is mostly made up of men, who at times give Garrett a hard time with sexual jokes and crude language, but she holds her own during this exchange. She's in a little terror thing. We get to see a whole bunch of action. She talks to the men. They make crude comments, what most men did, especially back during that time, but she holds her own. I also like the fact that Garrett is a very strong woman and she knows her way around the plane. You can also tell that Roseanne was influenced by WASP, the Women Air Force Service Pilots during World War II, as Garrett is a strong reminder how women back during those days were able to bring their support to the war. And as a matter of fact, during the post-scene credits, we get to see a montage about those women that did serve in the WASP. And as for Chloe Grace Moretz, she's actually pretty good as the fiery Garrett. She gives the character the strength and bravery that Garrett needs, especially when the danger appears, and is to prove herself to the crew and also finding that pesky gremlin, because he won't leave her alone. Now, unfortunately, when the truth is revealed about those secret documents and why she's actually on board, it kind of cheapens the character for me, taking away the strength that Garrett gained in the first place. Not saying it's a flaw, it's just that I really didn't think that they need to go there. Now, my guess is that Roseanne and co-writer Max Landis figures that that the audience, who have been pulling for Garrett by now, because of all the sexual because of all the sexual jokes he gets and how bad some of the crew is treating her, we now have an emotional connection to her, and this secret, would actually pull at the audience heartstrings. To me, it's a cheap ploy, and for me, it kind of doesn't fit this type of film, what it really should be, and I think it kind of distracts or takes away certain aspects of the film. Not saying it's not good, it's just that for this type of film, it shouldn't be in here. Now, most of the film looks great, especially when Moet's sitting in the turret for at least over half of the film. I would say about probably when middle of the first act and pretty much in the second act, she's in the turret. However, there are parts of the film where you can tell that she is on a set with a green screen behind her. It's not very well seen. They probably didn't have the money to blend it more great. There is one scene in the film where you really defies logic and physics, but hey, it did create the tension and suspense needed, so I'm okay with that. I'm pretty sure for people who have seen the film, you probably know what I'm talking about. Now, the male actors are okay, but we barely see them. They decided not to show them. We get to see, when they get introduced, we get to see little close-ups, some frame-ups of all the men in the movie, but we really don't get to see them that much. We hear them through the radio while Moretz is sitting in the turret, so we don't get any type of connection to them. We don't get that emphasis on them. It's still some nice acting going on with the men and Moetz, but to me, it's like we really need to see them. Now, of course, let's not forget that pesky gremlin in the film. Now, they did a pretty good job with some of the CGI and the scenes that he is in, and I did like the design of the creature. He's a scary looking, and he does present the danger that you need for this film. That you need for this little but very deadly creature. But Gizmo, he's not Gizmo. Trust me, he's not that type of a gremlin. If you're expecting any blood, yeah, there's some blood in the film. That's where I like some of the scenes in the film. Some of the action scenes involving Moetz and some of the dog fights they have with the Japanese airlines. I thought they were pretty good. Like I said, well, this is not a great horror movie, but it's not bad, and it does have its moments in it, and it's paced very well. Like I said, Chloe Grace Moretz does a fine job of portraying Garrett. I believe it's an okay horror film, and I believe most fans will enjoy it. It's probably like a one-time watch, and then, okay, hey, look, you enjoyed it. So, I'm going to give Shadow in the Clouds 2.5 out of my 5 bloody gold coins. Give it 2.5 out of my 5 bloody gold coins. Yeah, it's not great. It's not spectacular. It's not going to change anything. It's not going to revolutionize movies. It's a nice throwback to what Gremlins really was back in the days before, the 1984 Gremlins come down. It reminds me of that Bugs Bunny short that I saw a few years ago. I'm pretty sure I actually will put this in the review. So that is my review of Shadow in the Clouds. I hope you did enjoy it, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up, like, and share. Have you seen Shadow in the Clouds? Please leave your comments in the comment section and tell me what you thought about this film. Also, if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. That way you'll be notified anytime when I put a new video such as this one. Once again, my name is Lamont Smith, better known as the Horror Miser Monty G, and always remember that horror rules. And I'll see you in my next video. I am out.